Okay, so assignment 2 in the exercise, health and lifestyle, unit 7, is basically builds on the information and the understanding you've gained from assignment 1. So from assignment 1, you know what a balanced, active, healthy lifestyle should be like. You know some of the lifestyle factors that can affect people having a healthy, active lifestyle. And now this puts you in a situation where you're going to apply that knowledge to a client and actually evaluate their lifestyle. So the unit specification clearly says here that you need to be able to assess the lifestyle of an individual. You collect information from them using a lifestyle questionnaire, obviously based on the sort of detail you need from assignment 1, and then you're going to do a consultation with them. So a one-to-one interview perhaps isn't the right word, but you're going to discuss with them their lifestyle and gather further information from that consultation. So these are two different ways in which you could gather information in order to make an assessment on somebody's lifestyle. We've got pass, merit and distinction criteria available for this assignment. So P2 is basically you designing a lifestyle questionnaire that will give you the information you need to be able to describe the strengths and areas for improvement. M2 then asks you to explain the strengths and areas for improvement of a lifestyle, and D1 actually to evaluate, so a greater challenge in terms of putting all this information together and making some sense of it. And at the end of all that processing and evaluating, you need to prioritise areas that this individual might need to change to improve their lifestyle. So the scenario. In this assignment you take on the role of a personal trainer, and obviously you've got to treat each individual that you come across, whether it's at a gym or wherever you're based, as an individual, because they'll all come with different needs and different wants and different backgrounds. So before you're able to just go ahead and give them any kind of program or for activity, you need to know where they're at the moment. You need to know their background. You need to make an assessment on their lifestyle. So you've got to produce a lifestyle questionnaire that would be suitable to gather information during this induction process with your client, and obviously, as I said before, through a questionnaire and through a consultation. So lifestyle questionnaire, consultation, obviously a paper version of this. You need to make several considerations in terms of creating your questionnaire. How long will it be? And how accessible is it? What language do you use? Is it going to be a yes, no? Is it going to be a tick box? Is it going to be a graded 1 to 5? Is it going to be a give me more information, as in get the people to write information down? So think about the mode of gathering information in your questionnaire. And also the consultation has different demands, and we'll talk about that just in a moment. So what information should you be looking for? Now, again, based on what you understand from assignment 1, that should give you a big clue into the sorts of information you need to gather. So here's some suggestions. Any medical history, what's their activity history, lifestyle history. Actually, work might be relevant if they have a very high-powered work or they travel a lot or commute a lot. Those are all important lifestyle factors that might affect their health. Their nutritional status, so maybe ask them to make a week diary of their typical nutritional intake, or what did you eat last week, and of course any other relevant things that you can think of. But they're the starting point perhaps for the sort of information you should include in your questionnaire. And you can always research other people's and see what other people have used. Google it and see what you come up with. In terms of communicating then, particularly in the consultation, it could be that you're dealing with some very delicate information. You could have a very confident client, or you could have a very insecure client who might not, very readily want to talk about particularly intimate things about their diet or their weight or their lifestyle. They might know they're not doing the right thing and be embarrassed. So you have to bear these things in mind when you're doing your consultation, and maybe give a little bit of time to gain rapport with your client, put them at ease, chat about other things. But when you do start questioning them or having a conversation with them, think about the type of questions that you ask, whether you're going to ask open questions which require the client to give you detailed information, or whether you're going to ask more closed questions. Is it a yes/no answer? Are you going to start with a closed question and then, dependent on their answer, gently probe further and try to glean more information by asking more open questions? So think very much about the type of questioning you might use, the language you might use. If you're using technical language, are you going to be sure they understand it? So lots to bear in mind. And I'd say almost one of the most important bits of any kind of consultation is the listening. So you sometimes have predetermined answers. You see somebody, a client who's overweight, you've guessed the situation, you've guessed what you've got to do, and that's where you sort of shut down. But there might be really relevant reasons why people's lifestyles aren't perfect. So you absolutely need to listen to them and make it a two-way conversation rather than you just asking questions at them. And then finally, just think about client confidentiality. As I've suggested, some of this information might be particularly sensitive. There might be some serious psychological factors, mental health issues, some clinical issues associated with your client, and that sort of information has got to be respected, and you've got to treat ethically right, so you've got to be very sensitive to it. It's not appropriate for you to go back to the staff room and then talk about whoever you've just had an interview with. So be mindful of being ethical, doing what's right, treating people in the right way. And the Data Protection Act requires you to keep this sort of information behind locked door or in a locked cabinet. So there's actually a legal requirement for you to treat this data confidentially. So just finally wanted to show you the assignment brief that you're working in for this assignment. Again, all the information you need to know. There's your scenario, your assessment criteria, and the unit specification that you always should check before you do your work. But here's where you'll include your information. So pop your lifestyle questionnaire in there, just type away in there, and once you've done your questionnaire and gathered all the information, you need to explain and evaluate the strengths and weaknesses. So what are their strengths and why? What are their weaknesses and why? And therefore, what do they need to prioritize and really work on to improve and make benefits to their lifestyle? So this is where you put all your information for this assignment.